Level 1. The headset. The rush hits at 11:42. You have been an employee for exactly 2 hours. The headset in your ear is carrying 3 conversations at once. The fryer alarm is screaming, and a woman at the counter is holding up a coupon that expired in March, like it is a warrant. Nobody trains you for this part. There is a video about hand washing and a video about smiling. There is no video about drowning. Your name tag says your name, and under it, the word trainee. It might as well say Target. You're 18. 6 months ago, the plan was community college in the fall. Then your father bent wrong at the distribution center. 1 pallet out of 10,000, and a disc in his back gave out. The claim went under review, which you now understand is the place claims go to die slowly. Your mother cleans houses on Tuesdays and Thursdays. $80 a house, cash. Rent is $1,380 a month and does not care about any of it. You applied to 14 places. This is the one that called back. The online application took 11 minutes, including a personality quiz that asked whether you strongly agree that rules should always be followed. You strongly agreed. The interview took 6 minutes. The wage is $10.10 an hour. The woman who saves you during the rush is 61 years old and has worked this store for 24 years. Miss Ruth. She runs the breakfast line the way surgeons run rooms. No wasted motion, no raised voice. She can name a regular by the cough of his diesel before the speaker even crackles. When your hands finally stop shaking around 2 o'clock, she slides you a cup of ice water and gives you the first rule. Eat the free meal, baby, even when you're not hungry. Hungry decisions are expensive. On the grill, there is Hector, 40 years old, maybe 30 words a shift, and every one of them lands. He keeps a photograph folded into the brim of his hat. A half-built cinder block house, 2,000 miles south. Every paycheck is another course of blocks. He is building a house $11 at a time from behind a griddle that never cools. 2 weeks later, your first paycheck arrives. 54 hours, $545.40. Except the paper says $448.16, and you stand in the parking lot doing the subtraction over and over, waiting for it to apologize. Nobody ever taught you about payroll taxes. The government met your money before you did. You ask about full-time. The manager does not laugh, which is kind of her. You are scheduled 27.5 hours a week, because 30 is where benefits begin, and the schedule is written by software in another state that has never met you. It posts Thursday night at 9. Your whole week is decided by a program that lists you as a cost. You learn the burns. Everyone in the kitchen wears them, thin white stripes across the forearm at the exact height of a fry basket. A resume you can read on skin. By the 3rd week, your body learns the clock without being asked. Your feet ache in a new professional way. Your right hand smells like fryer oil, no matter what you scrub it with, and you fall asleep hearing the beep of the timers. At home, your father watches television with the sound off, and your mother counts out the light bill in fives, and you slide $600 onto the counter like it is nothing. It is not nothing. It is 59 hours of your life. You are already doing that math with everything. You will be doing it forever. Level 2. The CLOPEN. There is a word for closing at midnight and opening at 5, and everyone here says it like it is normal. Here it is. You close, scrape the grill, filter the fryers at 340 degrees, mop a floor that will be filthy again in 9 hours. You clock out at 12:41 a.m. The bus stopped running at midnight, so you walk 50 minutes home with your uniform shirt in a plastic bag, so it will not smell like grease when you put it back on at 4:55. 4 hours of sleep on top of the covers in your clothes. Then you are keying the alarm panel in the dark, while the walk-in cooler hums at you like something alive. Miss Ruth finds you asleep, standing up against the shake machine one morning, and does not report you. She hands you coffee in a small cup and says nothing, which is its own kind of rule. You do it because you have learned how hours actually work down here. There is the posted schedule, and then there is the real economy underneath it. Drop shifts, no shows, the 6:10 a.m. text that says, "Can you come in?" You always say yes. Within a month, every manager knows it, and the texts come to you first. Nobody at this altitude asks for a reference letter. The only reference is a time clock. Did you punch in? Did you punch in on time? That is the entire resume, and yours is spotless. And it turns out that is rarer than anyone wants to admit. Miss Ruth gives you Rule 2 while she counts her drawer, touching every bill like a bead on a rosary. Never count another man's drawer. Not with your hands. Not with your eyes. Rule 3 comes free after a customer screams at you for 4 straight minutes over a 50-cent upcharge, and you stand there letting your face do its job. Let it hit the visor, baby. That's what the visor is for. The math at home has stopped balancing anyway. Your 29 hours net about $1,080 a month. $600 goes to the rent. The claim is still under review, 5 months now, and the lawyer works on contingency, which means everyone in your house is waiting on paper. Your phone offers a solution with a smiling cartoon on it, an app that will advance you $75 of your own paycheck instantly for $4.99 and an optional tip. You pay the $5. Then you sit with what just happened. You paid a fee to borrow money you already earned, and somewhere a company was built out of exactly how short your month runs. You keep the app. You hate that you keep the app. A manager across town tries to poach you for a quarter more an hour, and you say no. But you write the lesson down where you keep things now. Even at the bottom, showing up is leverage. Small leverage, still leverage. Winter makes the walk dangerous. The fix costs $2,400. Hector's cousin is selling a Corolla with 218,000 miles and a heater that works if you believe in it. The envelope taped behind your dresser drawer takes 5 months to fill, and you count it the way Miss Ruth counts a drawer. Every bill a bead. The day you hand the money over, Hector looks at the car, then at you, and spends one of his 30 words. Herramienta, tool. He is right, and he is more right than you know. Because down here, a car is not transportation. It is a second job with its hand out. Level 3, dead miles. The rideshare sticker goes in the windshield on a Friday night, and by 8:40, a stranger in your back seat is telling you about his divorce. The app says you made $26.80 an hour tonight. The app is lying. It will take you 2 months and one old soldier to understand how. You find the staging lot by the airport at 10 to 5 one morning. 30 cars idling in rows, engines breathing, drivers asleep sitting up. That is where you meet Sarge, 60-something, retired Army quartermaster, drives a Crown Victoria so clean it looks government issued, and keeps a clipboard on the passenger seat with one laminated sheet on it. Cost per mile, fuel 14 cents, tires 4, oil 2, brakes 3, depreciation 19, insurance 6, 48 cents a mile. He says, tapping the sheet. That is your silent partner. The car is your second employee, son, and it steals. He makes you count dead miles, the empty driving between rides that the app does not pay for and does not show you. He makes you divide the whole night, door to door, not just the minutes with a passenger breathing behind you. Your $26.80 becomes $12.70. Sarge does not say it to be cruel. He says it the way a medic reads a chart. Most men out here are selling their car to the app 1 mile at a time. Know your number. You drive anyway. Friday and Saturday nights, Sunday mornings, stacked around your shifts, 5 hours of sleep, the odometer spinning like sand through an hourglass. You learn the city as heat maps and surge zones. You learn that 2 a.m. money is the best money and the worst people. The other lessons cost more. A drunk opens your door into traffic and the mirror comes back in 3 pieces. And your insurance company says the magic words, you were logged into a platform, and denies the claim. $900 to learn that your personal policy has a hole in it exactly the shape of the app. In April, a form called a 1099 shows up, and it turns out nobody withheld anything all year, and the government would like $1,743 by the 15th. Sarge told you to set aside 25%. You set aside 10. You eat the difference for 4 months. Then one Tuesday, your rating drops to 4.92 because somebody somewhere tapped a star. And a week later, an automated email says your account is under review for unsafe driving that never happened. 52 hours. No phone number. No human being. You sit in a parking lot, refreshing an app that is deciding whether you eat this month. And it occurs to you that you have worked for algorithms before. At least this one pays same day. The account comes back with a sentence nobody signed. You keep driving, but something has clicked into place, cold and useful. Every hour you sell is being marked down by somebody else's math. The store does it with a schedule. The app does it with a map. The only difference is the font. You start wanting to see the math from the other side of the glass. In March, the shift manager quits in the middle of a rush. Apron on the counter. Gone. The store manager looks around the kitchen once, at everybody. Then she looks at you, holds out a ring of keys, and asks a question that is not really a question. You have never missed a shift. You want up? Level 4. The alarm code. The alarm code is 4471. And at 4:40 in the morning, the entire store belongs to you. Shift manager, $14.75 an hour. The first raise of your life that actually moves a bill. You expected the promotion to feel like power. It feels like a mirror, because now you write the schedule. You, personally, in the back office with the door shut. Corporate wants labor under 24.5% of sales. The software flags you in yellow when a slow Tuesday runs heavy. And there is exactly one way to turn yellow back to green. You walk into the kitchen at 1 in the afternoon and send a human being home. The first time, it is a college kid who shrugs. The fourth time, the screen leaves you nowhere to hide, and it is Hector's Friday. 6 hours, a course of blocks. He reads the schedule, refolds the photograph in his hat, and says nothing at all, which is the loudest thing he has ever said to you. You pick up his Sunday, close yourself, and quietly slide the hours back to him on the next schedule, off the record, and neither of you ever mentions it, not once. You hated the algorithm. Now you are its hands. You tell yourself somebody is going to hold these keys, better you than someone worse, and the sentence goes down smoothly, and you notice exactly how smoothly, and you file that away too. But the office has a drawer, and the drawer has paper, and the paper is an education nobody meant to give you. This store sells $58,400 in a week. Food costs 31 cents of every dollar. Labor takes 24. Rent and fees flow upward to places the paperwork only gestures at. You start a note on your phone titled Groceries and fill it with numbers that are not groceries. The timer on the wall grades every car in the drive-thru in seconds, forever, and the region ranks all 34 stores by that number every single day. You drill your line the way Miss Ruth drilled you. No wasted motion, no raised voice. The average falls from 341 to 312, sixth in the region. You keep the pride off your face and carry it home anyway. You are 21. You hold keys, a code, a clipboard. On paper, you are management. You still do the division out of self-defense. And with the unpaid half hours before open and after close, you clear about what a good weekend of driving pays. The difference is the drawer full of paper. Then one Tuesday at 7:10 a.m., a silver Camry parks nose out in the far corner of the lot, and a man in a windbreaker orders 2 hash browns and a black coffee and sits by the window for 40 minutes, timing cars with a wristwatch. Then he walks behind your counter like he owns it, because he does. Delgado, 63 years old, owns this store and 5 others. Started on a grill in 1979 at $2.90 an hour, which everyone repeats like scripture and nobody under 50 actually believes. He takes 1 fry off the pass and eats it slowly, watching your line move. Who wrote this week's schedule? I did. Labor is at 23.8 and nobody quit. He looks at you the way you look at the timer. Huh. At the door he stops, half turned, one hand on the handle, the wristwatch catching the morning light. You know what this store sells. Food, you say, and hear how young it sounds. Delgado almost smiles and does not answer, and pushes the door open. Come find me when you figure out what it actually sells. The Camry pulls out of the lot, careful and slow. You stand at the register with the keys in your pocket, doing a brand new kind of math. Level 5. The sheet cake. The answer does not find you at the register. It comes in pieces over years, and the first piece arrives dressed as a promotion. Assistant manager, salaried, $38,500 a year. And the district manager says the word salaried like it has a bow on it. It takes you exactly 1 pay period to unwrap it. Salaried means the clock stops protecting you. 55-hour weeks become normal, then invisible. You do the division on a napkin in the back office, $13.46 an hour, less than you cleared holding a ring of keys and picking up weekends. They did not give you a raise. They bought your overtime in advance at a discount and called it a title. You stay because the title unlocks the rest of the paper, the truck order, the invoices, the full profit and loss, every line, every month. The note on your phone called Groceries is 400 lines long now, and not one of them is groceries. That winter, a warehouse across the county line starts hiring at $19.80, and twice you sit in its parking lot with the application open on your phone. More money, fewer hours. No headset. You do not go in either time, and it takes you weeks to say why out loud. The warehouse pays better. The store teaches better. You are not collecting wages anymore. You are collecting the machine's instruction manual, one shift at a time. In the spring, your father's claim finally settles. 4 years of under review comes to $31,000, and the lawyer's third comes off the top before anyone says congratulations. What is left mostly pays for what the waiting cost. His back is never right again. You learn that some bills arrive without an envelope. In June, Hector shows you a new photograph. The house has a roof now, red metal, and he holds the picture the way other men hold trophies. You ask when he goes home. When it has doors, he says. Then, in August, Miss Ruth retires. 28 years. The party is 45 minutes in the lobby, wedged between the breakfast rush and lunch. The sheet cake cost $41 at the Warehouse Club and says Happy Retirement in gel letters, and the R is already sliding. Somebody passed an envelope around on a Tuesday. The card has $23 in it. Corporate sends a certificate with a printed signature and her name in a font. 28 years. And her retirement plan is a Social Security estimate and a savings account she calls her funeral money. The company match existed the whole time, on paper, for people who could afford to leave money on the table. She never could. She counts her drawer one final time, every bill a bead, and slides it across the counter to you like she is handing over something sacred, because she is. You have 3 of my rules, she says. Here is the last one, baby. A company can love you back exactly as much as a cash register can. Go own something, even something small. Rented hands wear out. She walks out through the lobby in her good coat, past the cake, and the doors swing shut on 28 years. And the timer on the wall keeps grading cars, because the timer does not know that anything happened. That night you open the groceries note and type a new line above 400 others. 28 years equals one $41 cake. Then you drive across town to Delgado's flagship, park beside the silver Camry, and tell him you want the answer now. Level 6, the walk-in. The coldest room in Delgado's flagship is also the quietest, and that is where he does his talking. He stands among the steel racks with his breath showing and hands the question back to you. So, what does this store sell? Time, you try. Convenience, closer than food, he says. Still wrong. He pulls a folded profit and loss from inside the windbreaker and opens it against a case of patties and walks you down the page with one finger. Out front, this store sells $3.1 million of food a year. Food takes 31 cents of every dollar. Labor takes 24. Then his finger reaches the bottom of the page to the 2 lines nobody on the floor has ever heard of. Rent, service fees, 14 cents of every dollar, every month, flowing up and out forever to the corporation. I have run this corner for 31 years, Delgado says. I have never owned 1 inch of it. The corporation is not in the food business, son. It is a landlord with a menu. I do not sell hamburgers. I buy this corner 1 month at a time, and I pay for it with hamburgers. He taps the concrete floor with the toe of his shoe. Whoever owns the dirt eats first. Everybody else splits what is left. That is the whole answer. That is what this store sells. It sold me a corner I can never keep. You stand in the cold with your ears ringing, and for the first time since the headset, the math has a shape. He makes you general manager of the flagship the next month. $61,000, plus a bonus tied to numbers you already dream about. You run the store your way. You kill the CLOPEN on day 1, and the software flags the schedule yellow, and you let it stay yellow. You hire off the punch clock instead of the resume, because you were once measured that way yourself, and it turns out the clock finds people the paper misses. Turnover drops by half, and you put a number on it, because you put a number on everything now. Replacing 1 crew member costs about $2,100 in training, waste, and mistakes. Keeping people is cheaper than squeezing them. Your labor runs half a point over target, and your profit runs 2 points over anyway, and the district manager stops asking how you do it and starts photographing your schedule. The flagship climbs to second out of 34. The timer reads 2:58 during a Friday rush, and you feel it in your chest like a cord. Word comes over from your old store that Hector has gone home. 22 years of blocks finally spent. Nobody says the grill runs colder. Everybody knows it does. On Sundays, sometimes, you bring day-old cinnamon rolls to Miss Ruth, and she inspects your posture like a drawer. The bonus checks go into savings whole. You are 27 years old with $63,000 put away and a plan with no shape yet. Then, one October morning, riding to the bank in the silver Camry, Delgado gives the plan its shape and its price. You want your own store someday? There is a number. $500,000, liquid, sitting still where the corporation can watch it. He looks over at you once, then back at the road. Start now. Level 7. The number, $500,000. Not equity, not promises, not a rich relative's signature. Cash, unborrowed, sitting in the open where the corporation can watch it behave. That is the wall between the people who run stores and the people who own them, and almost nobody from your side of the counter ever gets over it. The ladder you have been climbing since 18 has a missing rung, and the missing rung is exactly $500,000 long. You climb anyway. Delgado makes you supervisor over 3 of his 6 stores. $88,000 a year, a company phone, and a laminated sheet of your own on the passenger seat, because you still run Sarge's math on everything. Stores have a cost per mile too. You can recite each one's number in your sleep. You live like a crew member on purpose. Same one-bedroom apartment, same haircut place. The Corolla finally dies at 306,000 miles, and you thank it out loud in the junkyard office, and the man behind the counter does not laugh, because he has watched men do that before. Every payday, an automatic transfer moves money into the account you still call the envelope, and the envelope grows the way Hector's house grew, a course at a time. By 33, the envelope holds $217,000. It is more money than anyone in your family has ever seen. It is also not $500,000, and the wall does not care how hard you climb, so the door opens from the other side instead. Delgado is 75 now and slower on the stairs, and his kids are a dentist and a school teacher, and neither of them has ever filtered a fryer, which is exactly what he wanted for them, which is its own complicated arithmetic. The corporation keeps a path narrow as a mail slot, for operators it already trusts. Delgado walks you through it for 2 years. Night classes, financial reviews, interviews where careful men in gray suits ask why you, of all people, and one afternoon, you hear Delgado answer it through an office door. His stores make money and his people stay. What else is there? Then he sells you the East Side store. His weakest, $41,000 a week, tired fryers, the worst drive-thru times in the region. The price is $760,000. You put down $190,000 of your $217,000, and Delgado carries the remaining $570,000 himself. 10 years, $6,300 a month. It is the first debt of your life that feels like a hand on your shoulder instead of a hand in your pocket. 15 years after a screen asked whether you strongly agree that rules should always be followed, you sign 11 documents in a booth at the East Side store, while the morning rush hums behind you, and Delgado orders 2 hash browns and watches. At 4:40 the next morning, you let yourself into your own store and stand in the dark, listening to the walk and hum. The alarm panel waits for a new code. You could choose anything in the world. You choose 4471. Level 8, the dirt. The East Side store takes 2 years to turn. New fryers on finance. Schedules posted 2 weeks out, written by a human being. Starting wage $17 when the going rate says you could pay less. No CLOPENs, ever for anyone, written into the handbook and under the free meal policy on page 1. Hungry decisions are expensive. The careful men in gray would call it sentiment. Your ledger calls it something else. Turnover falls by half, which saves $2,100 a head. The drive-thru falls from $405 to $311. Sales climb from $41,000 a week to $53,000. The store keeps 8 cents of every dollar instead of 6. Kindness, it turns out, audits beautifully. When Delgado retires for real at 77, you buy 2 more of his stores, and this time a bank carries what he no longer has to, because the East Side numbers speak for you now. The second store you buy is the one where a headset first screamed in your ear at 11:42 on a Tuesday. The woman who once handed you a ring of keys runs it for you, and you pay her like it matters, because it does. Delgado still comes in on Tuesdays. 2 hash browns, black coffee, the window seat. He does not time the cars anymore. He just watches them go. And then you meet the ceiling he showed you in the cold. The rent line on all 3 stores ticks upward every single year, forever. and there is nobody to negotiate with, because the negotiation was the agreement you signed. You own the stores. You will never own what is under them. That door is welded shut on purpose, so you buy what is under other things. The strip across from the East Side store comes up for sale, $690,000. The loan officer calls you sir and means it, and you think about a 19-year-old paying $4.99 to borrow his own paycheck, then another building, then 2 more over the years, 11 storefronts in all, and on the first of every month, other people's rent flows toward you the way yours once flowed up and away. In the corner unit of a building you own outright, free of everyone, you open a small breakfast counter and put one word on the sign, Ruth's. She is 80 years old and first through the door. She counts the opening drawer, every bill a bead, trains your openers for a month, refuses pay, and argues when you pay her anyway. An envelope arrives from 2,000 miles south. A photograph. The house finished, doors painted green. Hector on the porch with his hat in his hand. On the back, one word, Puertas. Your parents move into a ground floor unit in your second building. No stairs, because money fixes bills, but it does not fix discs. The light bill pays itself from an account your mother never sees. And the first month, she calls the electric company to report the mistake. The accountant totals it once a year. Stores, buildings, the counter with her name on it. A little over $5.8 million, and every dollar of it files a return. You still open some mornings. The first name tag, the one that said trainee, sits in your office drawer on top of a stack of paper applications because you remember an 11-minute quiz, and some people deserve a form a human being will actually read. On a Tuesday in September, at the store where you started, you are covering the register when a young man walks in off the bus. 18 in his only collared shirt. He asks if you have paper applications. You keep a stack under the register for exactly this. He fills it out at the window table, and in the margin he does math. Small numbers stacked, crossed out, stacked again. You know that equation by heart. A light bill, a tired mother, a father off work. He brings the application back with the availability box filled in solid. Every day, open to close. As many hours as you can give me. He says, my dad got hurt at work, his back. You take the paper. Then you give him the only thing you own that is worth more than the wage. Eat the free meal, you say, even when you're not hungry. He nods like it is a strange thing to say. It is. He will understand it in about 3 weeks. You hand him a headset and a name tag that says trainee. He thinks the job starts Monday. It started the moment he walked in and you watched him do the math. He thinks he is applying for a paycheck. He does not know yet what this store actually sells, but he will.